Okay, let's try this one. Okay, anything particularly going wrong this time? Is the audio better? Yay! Okay, well that was a bugger. That was pretty crap trying to get that working. But hopefully if that's now done, then if this is working, then great. So previously, obviously what I'd done previously, I'd arranged a scheduled event, which is fine, except that obviously once you come to actually log in, it's not working very well. So hopefully this time it will work much better. So it's actually due to start now. What great timing that is. I can see messages okay, thanks so much. I'm just going to make sure I can see them on my screen. So thanks very much to, I'm going to call you Hilsey, 8855. So thanks so much for Hilsey for helping with the audio, and to everyone else that's been helping us as well. So, so welcome to my live stream. If you find me looking weirdly down there or something like that, it's probably because I'm looking at myself rather than looking directly at the camera. So sorry about that. Okay, sorry, Hills. I apologise for doing that. So welcome to the live stream. Thanks so much for bringing me to today. What I thought I'd do is I've had a couple of sort of slightly funnier questions that people have asked me recently, which is of interest maybe to some people. Really just happy to take any questions from anyone. If someone wants to ask me a question in the live stream, then you're more than welcome to do so. Very happy to answer questions from anyone today. So yes. Let me know if there's any questions you want to know about. One thing I'm going to talk about today is I had a question which was, let me just check who that was from. Yeah, I had a question from someone by the name of Steve Jones. I don't know if Steve's going to be on the live stream, I guess not. But Steve Jones asked me what are my favourite pair of killer heels. And I don't really have a favourite pair of killer heels, but what I do have is something that I really do have to mention. So I'm going to show these off right now because they are fabulous. They're not really, by the way, it's a bit of a joke. These are my favourite killer heels. Okay. And the reason they're my favourites is because I can dance in them. I can run around in them, I can trot up and down stairs in them, and they're incredibly comfortable, and I can spend the entire night wearing these if I go out to a club. So these are my killer heels, and the way I can prove that these are my favourite killer heels is because this is one pair, okay, and this is my old pair. I bought the same pair twice. These are by Pleaser. I bought them from a website called Banana Shoes. So this is the old one. The old one's quite unpleasant. It's very sticky. My friend Anna spilt WKD, which is a filthy drink at the best of times. She spilt WKD all over my legs. So these ones are a bit battered up and they're horrible and grimy and yucky. But I now have two different pairs. So there we go. Let me just see what this is doing. Okay, thanks Jerry, that's lovely. Thanks for that. So the brand, which I'll spell here, is Pleaser. So that's the brand of shoes that I've bought. Most of the shoes I've got are Pleaser shoes. They're a really good brand. They do massive sizes. I know you can get decent stuff from places like Evans as well, but I don't tend to go down there. The other ones that I have, which are sort of quite good killer heels, which I'm wearing, so it's difficult to show you, are these ones. These are my boots. These ones are a bit tatty now. but they're good for cosplay type stuff. So I like these. These are some of my favourite killer boots, or killer heels rather. I'll put these back on again now. Thanks, Michael. They are good. I may, if they get any tatty, I may repurpose them in with like red paint or something. Try and spray them red to do sort of Wonder Woman boots, something like that. I fancy working on a Wonder Woman costume. It needs to be good boots for that. There you go. Lovely zip noise. So, if there's any questions anyone wanted to ask me today, more than happy to ask any direct questions that anyone has for me. Feminine shoulders. Little feminine shoulders. They're quite big. If I do that, it's not as feminine. You know, that's... But, you know, underarms helps. But thanks so much. Yeah, they're... I'm quite lucky on my shoulders. The key is I don't do any form of upper body exercise. I do work at home and stuff, but the trick is don't do any form of upper body exercise, because if you do, you start to, you know, you get these things here, and you get your lats and your traps and all that kind of stuff building up, and then you get a bit bulky. So only ever do lower body exercise, running and cycling and squats and stuff like that, to try and build up the bum and the thighs. We don't want to do anything on the shoulders, otherwise you get a bit, you know, a bit bulky. You've got to keep it all down. Some say warehouse work. No, I don't work in a warehouse. I work outside in the garden, but I don't work in a warehouse. I work in, this is my office. I'm sat in right now. So I work from home, and this is my office at home. So in my office at home, I have my all my makeup gear, all my stuff, which is basically knocking around. So over there is my little bureau, which has got all of my makeup in it. And over there, I have all my cupboards and stuff that are filled with wigs and, you know, bits and bobs and clothes and all that kind of stuff. Most of my clothes are in my wardrobe in the bedroom, but I have, yeah, all sorts of stuff knocking around over here as well, which is a nice, useful place. So in this room where I work from home, I've got everything kind of compactly laid out around me, so I can go and grab bits and pieces of makeup or whatever I want to do, my wigs, everything's to hand, so I don't have to go and find it from anywhere or grab it from anywhere else, which is really good. So yeah, so heels, I've got lots of other ones, but I've got really quite sort of practical heels. That's quite a, you know, like I said, most of my stuff here is quite practical. So I've got things like these, which I'll show you. These aren't the nicest things in the world, but they're practical. So because I like to sort of, if I'm going out as Juliette, I like to be 100% Juliette. So even for those purposes, I bought a pair of flats. Now these are horrible, you know, sort of librarian things, but they're great for driving the car. So if I'm ever out and about doing something I want to drive in the car, then this is a really good thing to be able to have. So there you go. Thanks, Melanie. Thanks so much. So I've got a question here from Hills. And Hills asked, sorry if it's been covered before, but are you out to your family? So will Juliette be spending time with the family around the dinner table? So I'm out to my wife. Yes, I'm out to my wife. I'm not out to lots of other people. So I'm not openly out to anyone else in my family. I would be very surprised if people didn't suspect something, because I have, you know, relatively neat eyebrows. So, you know, when I'm knocking around with these things, you know, that's my actual eyebrow. So it's quite hard to pass that off as, you know, natural, especially when you've grown up your whole life and everyone knows it's not your natural eyebrow. So, you know, what you can do. I know people notice my eyebrows, whatever. And I get some big chunky glasses that cover them like this. So I wear glasses normally, so I'll have big chunky glasses that cover them up, and then no one will be able to see, oh no, what's going on. So no one will be able to see, which would be great. That's the idea. So yeah, my family know, or rather my wife knows. I'm pretty sure my father suspects. I'm fairly sure my brother suspects. Well, actually no, he knows, because when he came out, I kind of told him, so I gave him some information. So, hi Daisy. Hi there, you. Right. Okay. So yeah, that's one of those comments. Yeah, so I am out to my wife. I'm pretty sure my brother knows. I'm pretty sure my brother's husband knows. So we just don't discuss it openly. I'd love to do a sort of murder and mystery. Melanie, yeah, Melanie. That's how I say your name. I'd love to do a sort of murder mystery type dinner. So we were. No, I don't. I don't use instep heels. I don't use those at all. Like I said, those shoes that I have that I was showing you earlier, which are these ones. These shoes are fabulous. I dance in these, no insteps, no nothing, for hours. I wear them in. I just wear them around the house with a pair of socks on something. And I can wear these in, a pair of these shoes in a couple of, let's say in a week or so, wearing around the house. Then take them out, and they're fantastic. They're bloody brilliant heels. And the fact they've got this sort of strappy bit here that goes around your calf is really, really good. Thanks, Daisy. Lovely of you to say so. So yeah, going back to my family and stuff, yeah, they know. A lot of them know. My wider family doesn't really know. I haven't come out to anyone. I'd love to do, like I said, a murder mystery type evening, so that would be really, really cool. And I kind of floated the idea, and we thought we'd invite my brother and his husband along, because if we do bring them along, most murder mysteries are sort of 4 women and 4 men. And we figured if we invite my brother along with his husband, that's 2 men in a couple, which means you need a couple of 2 women. You start balancing things up. And that might give me an excuse to dress up. The only problem is, I wouldn't be happy dressing up any less intensely than this. And the problem with that is I can't pass this off as me throwing something together just for a dinner. It's going to be relatively obvious that I've got everything I need, and that makeup wise I know what I'm doing. So that's why I can't pass it off as being just fun. But I'd love to do that kind of thing. I've had dinners with my wife at home, so we do occasionally some stuff. She's been out with me as well, so we've been out and about a little bit. But it's difficult because we've got a young child, and it's not that easy to organise. So the one thing that we struggle with is the idea of getting babysitters to come over, because if we do, then I have to kind of walk out past a babysitter, and that's not really ideal for me to go walking out past a babysitter, especially if it's someone we know. So maybe we'll know one day. Maybe someone will actually know, and they'll be fine, but not today. So yeah, any questions? Then, like I said, by all means, let me know in the chat. Lovely to see you here, Daisy. By the way, hope you're doing well. Good to talk earlier today. Hope you're fine. So other than that, I was going to just answer another question which I had, which was from Paul. Okay, so I figured I might answer a question from Paul while we're here. And the question from Paul was how I got my name. So if you're not sure how to pronounce it, my name is Juliette Noir, which is French, which is French, c'est français, pour black. So the main reason it's Juliette Noir isn't because I like film noir, it's because my hair when I started out was black. This is my first ever wig. So I had this wig, I bought this, And I used to wear this all the time in, you know, when I knew less about makeup and other bits and pieces. And yeah, this was how I sort of put my stuff together. So yeah, it is a bit gothy, but this is but I'm doing my makeup a bit gothy for Halloween because I'm out on Saturday night. So I bought this one. This is my new. I'll show you this. It's my new thing. It's got. I don't think you can see that very well. It's got skulls. So it's got little sort of jewel bits and then skulls next to it. I really like this. Yeah, this was quite cool. So hopefully it doesn't break because it's quite cheap. But because it's Halloween coming up, I thought I'd make an effort to be a bit more vampy, a bit more gothic for Halloween. So this is me practicing with slightly darker lips and practicing a bit more sort of vampy around the eyes. That's one of the weirdest questions I've ever heard. But okay, we'll get onto that one in a minute. So just finishing off my thing about how I got my name. The name Juliette came from Lost. So I love the TV show Lost. I really liked it. One of my favourite characters was Dr. Juliette Burke. I loved her. I thought she was fabulous in the film. Really, really gorgeous. Sorry, in the TV show, really gorgeous. Loved her. She's she's stunningly attractive. And I liked her character as well. I thought she was great. So yeah, I loved her, and that's where I took the name Juliette. So Juliette because of Dr. Juliette Burke from Lost, and Noir because my hair's black. And Juliette seemed a bit Frenchy. Yeah, it's a bit French sounding, so Juliette Noir. That's where I got that from. Plus which, je parle un peu de français, mais pas bon. Je parle un peu. C'est difficile pour moi parce que je travaille pour une campagne. Non, pardon, je ne sais pas qu'est-ce que c'est le mot. Je travaille pour une télécommunication company. Et c'est difficile pour moi. Oui. Toutes les personnes qui je travaille parlent français très très bien. Et je parle un peu pour les vacances. C'est bon pour les vacances, c'est tout. Ferme. Merci. Firm de telecommunication. Merci. So that's that. I'm not going to switch back to English now, but I speak a little bit of French for holidays and stuff like that because I like French, French people. So that's the Noir bit. Hello, Maxine. Thanks for joining me. So I'm going to. So have I seen Gia? Oh yeah, I haven't seen the film, but yeah, Lizabeth Mitchell. I love her. She's fantastic. She's the only reason I wanted to see the Purge election year, because I just love her. She's fantastic. I really love Lizabeth Mitchell. She's gorgeous. So there was a question which I'm just going to check out now, which was from Michael, which was Michael Murphy asked, "Who do you think built Stonehenge?" Now, I'm assuming you're not on two different ones at the moment and there's some kind of history thing going on and you're just sending questions to two different people. But okay. So I'm going to answer the question, who do I think built Stonehenge? I think Stonehenge was built by the Neolithic people that lived in that area of the country down near modern Glastonbury. I'm a Batman. Yeah. So yeah, I think it was built by Neolithic people. I don't think it was built by aliens. I'll put it that way. How they got the stones, the Starsons, all the way down there, I'm not entirely sure. You know, this idea of trundling them along on you know, logs or whatever. Sounds like an awful lot of effort, but then they had, you know, hundreds of years to get it done, so I'm sure that's how they built Stonehenge. But thanks for the question, it's a really good one. So Grace Salt has asked, are you Batman? Yes. Yes, I am Batman. But I haven't done my Batman voice in a very long time. So Batman, Christian Bale's Batman sounds kind of like, swear to me! That kind of voice. It's not what I do. It's not what I say. But what I do that defines me. That's my Batman. Yeah. Sorry about that. So yeah, I did a couple of videos a while ago actually about being Batman and stuff like that. Hi Jones, thanks for joining us. If you've got any questions, let me know. Lovely to see you here. Glad you're here. I was just doing Batman impressions because someone asked if I'm Batman. So I don't know if that's because you've seen an impression of me doing Batman, or if that's because you think I look like Batman, or if that's because you think I'm really, 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 really cool. And yeah, maybe that's it. Or maybe you think my voice is so deep that I should be Batman. I'm not sure. But yeah, I can do Batman a little bit. But only the Christian Bale Batman. The whole ridiculous deep voice one. Yeah, that's that's my best impression of Batman. I can do Michael Caine, and I can do Michael Caine a little bit, but then most people think they can do Michael Caine, and I don't know how well I am doing it right now because I have to listen back to it. Because he's got quite a deep voice, as Michael Caine, and he's quite difficult to do. I don't know. There's not the best one in the world, so sorry about that. Okay, have I seen Almodovar's The Skin I Live In? No, I haven't. But yeah, I'd love to. Pedro Almodovar is fantastic. I do need to see that. I've got like a whole list of films that I need to watch. A massive long list of films. It's difficult to get around to them all because I'm still trying to go through this AFI Top 100 list. So I'll do what I can to try and get to those films whenever I can. But you know, I haven't seen that one. I'd like to though. What I'll do is I'll make a note of it afterwards because it's good stuff. So on a slightly more girly subject, yeah, like I said, I just got these today, so I'll show you what these are. These are my new bracelets. So I picked these up off Amazon. These are cheap as chips. These are sort of stylized pearly things, which are quite fun. So I quite like these. I've not done my long nails today. That's mainly because I wanted to be able to type. If I get long nails on, I can't type. So I can't operate the computer very well with long nails. So it's best if I'm going out with long nails, but just do these ones. So that's one of my things. And the other one which I showed you earlier, which was this one. Yeah. Which is the sort of sparkly one with the skulls. Don't know if you can see. You can see their skulls. I love this one. This is my new bracelet. But it means that when I say bye at the end of my videos, they don't rattle like the other one does. The other one, this one is the really rattly one. It's my favourite. But I wear it too often. I need to change it around a bit. Okay, Darren, my wife is coming to terms with Juliette. Wasn't thrilled, I have to say, but coming to terms with Juliette. So, yeah, we've been together for quite some time. So for us, this has been a bit of a journey. It's been as much a journey for me as it has been for her. And you know, I've talked at length in the past about how my wife doesn't, or let's say, a lot of confusion about whether I was gay and whether I wanted to transition and everything. But I've been basically doing the same kind of thing now for 2 or 3 years. So I've been like this. I've been getting better at my makeup and other bits and pieces and trying to do stuff more seriously. But for the most part, I've been trying to keep myself to, or not having to try, I'm just keeping myself to a regular sort of routine, which is I go out once or twice a month. I dress once or twice a week. And I make these videos, and I do stuff online, and and that's kind of my jam at the moment. I'm living what I think is quite a nice little balance. So um, uh, yeah, it's not ideal. I'd probably do more if I could, but I wouldn't do much more. I've no desire to live like this full time. There's a lot of effort that goes into this, and the idea of putting all of this on regularly is quite difficult for me. Yeah, it's quite difficult to get everything on in one go, unfortunately. Well, it doesn't take me long. To be honest, this makeup takes me like 45 minutes to an hour to get everything ready, to get it completely ready. So it's not the be all and end all, but yeah, I prefer to do it occasionally as well as I can, rather than do it all the time and get lazy about stuff. That's really my thing. I like to be. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, except when it comes to practicing my high voice. I get all sloppy about that. So as much as I'd like to, I should be doing my high voice. I should really be practicing this. But I do need to try and remind myself now and again to raise the register, because I slip off and I find myself talking like this again. And I do need to try and get into the regular habit of speaking like this and trying to elevate things a little bit. And I find I'm much more animated as Juliette. But that's one of my problems, is I do tend to, my voice comes down over time. So at the end of an evening, it's really quite hoarse. It's not good. So I have to, this is one thing I still have to work on. As much as I like doing the makeup stuff, I do have to try to, I do have to try and raise that lift up and get it up there as much as I can. Okay, okay, so let me have a look at this. A wonderful setup. Yeah, I do have a wonderful setup. I'll come back to that question about Jedi trailer soon. Yeah. So someone says I would not have a devastating, beautiful, flirty hair flip. So you're just trying to get me to do a hair flip, Michael? I don't know what a hair flip is in that context. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Is it one of these? I don't know. I think it's yeah. I do a good hair bob. This is a really good bob wig, so it's nice to sort of. But I have to say, spend most of our lives trying to keep hair out of our mouths. So yeah, I do that, but I don't do too much of the old, that kind of thing. Don't know why, but there we go. That's my hair flip, and well done. Marcos says stand up, or it actually says stand up. Yeah, I'll do that in a minute. Thank you, Michael. It's very kind of you to say so. Jones, to your question. I did see the last complete trailer for The Last Jedi. I did see that. I'm kind of lukewarm on it. I'm not. I went a bit crazy for Force Awakens. I'm kind of lukewarm on The Last Jedi. I don't know why, but I'm okay on it. I just saw Thor Ragnarok, and I'm posting a review of Thor Ragnarok, I think, later tonight. I've recorded my review. That film is amazing. Thor Ragnarok is superb. So funny. I love Taika Waititi. I love the guy. I think his humour is fantastic. So yeah, I love the hell out of that film, and I'll definitely be recommending that to everyone. That is a really, really great film. So I've had a request to stand up. The problem with standing up with this webcam, well, it's not really a problem, is that even if I go to the back of the room, which isn't very deep, you're not going to be able to see much of me at all. So yeah, I will do, but this is going to be a bit awkward because I'm going to disappear and then so whatever. Let's see how well this works. So as you can see, look, there you go. What's the point of doing that? So now you can't see me unless I do that. Hi. now you can see me. And there's my boots. So you can see my boots. These are big sparky boots. But you can't see full length anyway, so this is my nice sort of strapless, nice number. I like this one. It's good. So there you go. That's me standing up, of all things. I've got a hair on my lip. There we go. Got it. A cartwheel. I can do a karate kick, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah, a cartwheel would be too much. I think not. I'm afraid. Thank you, Marcos. Very nice. You'd be surprised at how much I spend on my wardrobe. My wardrobe, my entire wardrobe, probably costs a couple of £100, but I buy most items for like a £5 off eBay. So now I'm confident on my size. Thank you, Daisy. So now I'm confident on my size. I get most of my stuff through eBay. I don't shop down in department stores and stuff like that because it's a pain in the arse. And to be honest, this is a serious matter. I can't spend too much on clothes because it's expensive having two different wardrobes, especially when you go out and you do photos and stuff as much as I do. And I'm conscious that I don't want to wear the same things over and over and over again. So I do spend as much. I do spend a little bit, but I don't spend too much. I really don't. So like I said, most of the items. I mean, this dress. This was, I think, tenner from Boohoo. I was nothing, you know. And I don't buy labels, with one exception actually, which is Lipsy. I will buy a Lipsy dress if I see a really nice one I like, so I think Lipsy dresses are great. And I've bought a few Axe Paris dresses as well from time to time. But like I said, for the most part I buy them from Boohoo, I buy them online, and now I've gravitated to buying stuff through eBay. So I bought some fantastic things from eBay, and most of the things I sort of picked up years ago, and they were either aspirational things. So yeah, Lipsy and Axe Paris, those are my favourite brands. They're awesome. And I've got a few other things that I occasionally wear, but I don't wear too often. Here's a good example of something that I've only ever worn in photos, never worn out. Since it happens to be knocking around, is this bad boy. So this is my spangly boob tube. So I've really wanted to wear this out for a while because it's fantastic. It's just a stretchy spangly boob tube. Doubles up as a skirt as well. Very tight skirt, I have to say. But I love this thing. This thing's, I bought this, I think 8 or 9 years ago. So a lot of my stuff, I hang on to it, and I sort of, yeah, it is fine as a skirt, but as a boob tube, it's good as well. It's a good thing as a boob tube. I've got photos of me wearing it. You can find them on Flickr. I'm sure there's a photo of me on Flickr wearing this, along with this sort of frilly skirt thing, something like that. I think it's on YouTube. No, it's on Flickr somewhere. Yeah, but it's great. This is. I'd love to wear this out. The only problem is when you couple this with quite a heavy breast form, then the worry is that you'll be dancing away and it'll flop open, and then you'll be left with, you know, massive chicken fillets on the floor, looking a bit weird. So that's always been my concern about wearing one of these. But yeah, good thing. I like this. This is a great little item. But it's years old. I've had it for years and years and years. Very colourful, very fun. But I've not been able to. I've never really felt I was at the right night to wear it out. Plus, which I'm 42. And I don't think this is quite 42-year-olds. 20 years ago, maybe. Anyway, so there's that. So I don't know how many people we actually have online at the moment, or online and watching. Oh, 10. Cool. So yeah, if there's any other questions, if anyone wants to ask me anything, by all means ask me anything you want. I don't do these live streams very often, so I probably only do them 1 or 2 times a year, something like that. Not much more than that. So yeah, if there are any questions anyone wants to ask me while they're here, then by all means, please do so. You know, quite fun to yeah, to answer any questions on these, on funny types of topics or stuff like that. Because I did have a few other questions that I was going to answer, but I did the name thing and I did the killer heels, so that's okay. The other ones I'll do them more specifically. So yeah, as I was saying, if you haven't seen Thor Ragnarok, go see that. It's a really, really good film. Really, really good stuff. Other than that, I've got, yeah, my room's a bit of a tip at the moment. Unfortunately, I'm like I said, I've got a friend coming over on Saturday night, and we're going to go out to Pink Panthers together, which is really, really good for Halloween. So that's my sort of reason for being a bit more vampy in the last few weeks. I've been trying to make sure my eye makeup is all good for going out on Halloween, try and darken things up a little bit. So yeah, I've got a friend coming over, we're going to have a bit of dinner, and then we're going to head out to go to Pink Panthers for Halloween. It should be a really good night. Yeah, Saturday night we're going to be down there, so that will be great. Unfortunately though, because I'm in the middle of redecorating my house at the same time, my room is a bit of a tip, so otherwise I would show you some of my stuff. But I can give you a rough idea of just how appalling, well, let's say how my organisation is, so I can show you this. This is my incredibly well organised, oh look, there's my tripod. Can you see that? My tripod, put that away. For photos and such, I got tripod for doing photos. It's grand, it works really, really well. It's bloody great. So this, I'll just show you this very quickly. I'm moving the camera, it's going to be a bit of a pain, but there we go. So this is my fabulous bureau with all my makeup stuff in it. So that's where I keep all my makeup stuff, so everything's in there. Drawers full of makeup, all this stuff in my room, which means I have access to it whenever I need. Scary eyes. Let's get that down a bit now. Oops. There you go. Come back down. Okay. Yeah. So I have access to my my makeup stuff all over there whenever I need it, which is great. So that means I'm able to get my hands on anything whenever I need to, and everything's to hand, so that's really, really fun. So that's part of my office. It looks quite neat, it looks quite nice when it's all put away. Not quite so chocker, but I literally got my makeup on and, you know, I haven't put everything away yet, so sorry about that. Yes, as it says a question, so a question from Darren, do any of my work colleagues know about Juliette? They don't. I'm pretty sure they don't. Having said that, what have I done? I regularly do conference calls dressed like this. So I was doing conference calls today dressed like this. I do my makeup when I'm doing conference calls. I'm sorely tempted. I'm really, really sorely tempted to do a video conference dressed like this. My company is very good on trans issues. It's got, you know, there's no issues with that. So I would expect them to be completely fine. and very respectful, and I wouldn't expect to have any issues with my colleagues, so it's not like I've got any particular reason not to tell them. In addition, I don't really socialise outside of work with my colleagues, so it's not like there's any overlap between my social life or anything else like that. So I very much could, and the only thing that stopped me is not wanting to push it. If a situation came where someone wanted to do a video conference and I was dressed, I'd be tempted to just say yes and just do it. Very tempted to just do that. Having said that, I wouldn't schedule a video conference and be dressed for it. I'd prefer it to be by, let's say, by chance or by accident. I wouldn't want to have pushed for this to happen. Anyway, that's my view. It's just something to to think about. Okay, another question from Jones. Tell me who you consider your heroes or people you look up to from the past and the present. So, heroes. I don't have trans heroes. I like some people in the trans community, but for me being, and I know this wasn't necessarily the gist of your question anyway, but for me being trans isn't the defining part of my life. I am who I am, and sometimes I dress like this, sometimes I dress differently. So, people who have fought for trans rights, people who have pushed for trans rights, I'm very much in awe of them. I'm very much grateful to them for anything that they've done, and anything I do here or sharing myself online or whatever else is my small way of trying to help with that a little bit, trying to push for, for some people to normalise some of what we do. I don't know. We'll see. That's my justification to a certain extent of what I'm doing online, on YouTube, etc. But I guess in terms of heroes, I've never really been one for hero worship. I have, there were various sort of sports people and stuff that I looked up to when I was younger. I like certain actors, but I wouldn't view them as being heroes. And I'm also not the kind of person that would say, oh, my mum, or oh, my dad's my hero because of, my dad, he's a father. They're parents. You do, I'm a parent. You do what you're supposed to do. I wouldn't say it's anything necessarily heroic. So that might make me a little bit of a, it might be a little bit, I don't know how to put that. Is it egocentric? I'm not sure. But I'm not really one for hero worship, so I'm struggling to think about that. Thanks for the clarification, James. Like I said, I wasn't sure what you meant. Hi, Andrew. Thanks for joining. So, yeah, okay, musical heroes. Okay, I'll tell you what. Then that's really, really easy. So, musical heroes. Kurt Cobain. Loved Kurt Cobain. When I found out Kurt Cobain had died, I sat in my car for probably about 20 minutes, just thinking. I was a moody, youthful twat, to be honest. So, I was in that kind of age where you'd sit there sullenly staring at your, at your steering wheel because Kurt Cobain's died. A bit of a dick, to be honest. But yeah, Kurt Cobain was one of them. Bowie. Absolutely, David Bowie. I love David Bowie. I remember when I discovered David Bowie was doing my A-levels. So Bowie was a huge thing for me. Listened to them a lot. I listened to him, Ziggy Stardust and Spiders from Mars and all that kind of stuff when I was doing my A-levels. Other than that, I'm a massive sort of indie fan. So I kind of grew up on Blur and Oasis and The Farm and that kind of music. I was into my Spiral Carpets, my Cure. So I guess Robert Smith kind of blurs the thing between music and trans, because obviously Robert Smith had a very distinctive look, wore a bit of lipstick. So yeah, He'd be one of them. Comedy. Let's talk comedy. My hero of comedy is Stuart Lee. Stuart Lee. I love Stuart Lee. I think Stuart Lee is incredibly funny. He is a whining lefty arse, but he's also hilarious, incredibly intelligent. Hi, Sharika Rai. Is that right? Sharika Rai. Hello, South Africa. I've been to South Africa. Went to Cape Town and Johannesburg for a few days. Got wickedly sunburnt in Johannesburg in about an hour in the sun. I got wickedly sunburnt. My eyes puffed up, and I had to I stayed in my hotel room for a weekend. I was on a work trip. I had to stay in my hotel for a work trip. So there we go. Dave Allen of our time, yeah, Stuart Lee. Stuart Lee is I'm on a website called TV Chicks, and I'll always remember that quote. There was a guy called Jimmy Vesper who did a quote about Stuart Lee, who described him as a I won't say a shithead C who resides at the very apex of all that is utter patience testing wank. And to me, that perfectly describes Stuart Lee. He is patience testing, but he's also brilliant. Love the guy. Very well worth looking up if you can get hold of him. His Shill Bottle sketch, I still love Shill Bottle. I love when he takes things too far anyway. And his thing about Top Gear, because I can't stand Top Gear. I hate Clarkson. I can't wake up, which one I dislike the most out of all of them. Similar to Stuart Lee, but his Top Gear section is fantastic. I love it. Sharika's from Cape Town. Cool. Cape Town's lovely, beautiful, beautiful place. A bit windy, but lovely. Joburg, I really enjoyed Joburg. We have an office there, and good, fantastic views over the city. I liked it. Apart from the wicked sunburn. I was scaring the. I was ordering room service into my room, so I didn't want to leave the room. I looked hideous, and they kept coming in. The rooms all dark with the curtains closed. The woman who brought the food in just kept switching the light on. So obviously wasn't comfortable going into the dark room with a strange man, but okay, fair enough. I understand that. All sorts of problems in hotel rooms, I'm sure. So those are my musical heroes. I've got loads of others. I mean, I'm a massive music fan. Today I like The Killers. I like Arctic Monkeys. Are You Mine is my favourite Arctic Monkeys song. I love those guys. I'm not a big fan of modern music. I don't like modern music so much. I kind of go back to my 90s roots. And to the stuff that I discovered when I was younger back then. So I got into a lot of 60s stuff when I was younger. I love the Rolling Stones. Sympathy for the Devil is still one of my favourite tracks of all time. The Pixies. Love the Pixies. Where's My Mind? Fantastic thing. Foo Fighters. I like the Foo Fighters. They're good, but for me, it took them too long to get over that whole Nirvana thing, and I like them. They're really good. Queen. Absolutely love Queen. Under Pressure is one of my favourite songs of all time, the Bowie collaboration. Even the scene from they played the music from Under Pressure in Grosse Point Blank, where the baby's looking at John Cusack. I love that. Absolutely love that scene. It's fantastic. Mercury's obviously a bit of a hero. Great guy, fabulously talented. So Freddie Mercury, I'm hoping this biopic is good, but unfortunately I think the remaining members of Queen are going to, neuter the Freddie Mercury biopic, and they're going to ruin the whole thing. I get the feeling that Freddie Mercury will die about halfway through the film, and then the second half will be about the rest of the guys trying to save badgers and whatever it is they're doing. All worthy stuff, but it's not really why you watch a Queen biography or biopic. Other music stuff, Beatles are okay, but like I said, I'm more of a Stones person. I love the Kinks. Really, really love the Kinks. Kinks are fantastic. So yeah, I like my 60s stuff. Anything, not really going back to rock and roll, but anything through 1960s. I like the Animals, Trogs. This isn't showing my age, by the way. I picked these up in the 80s. And I like 80s music. I guess I like genre type music. I like any music that's from a particular era. I'd like Sex Pistols, for example. I love Sex Pistols. I think they're fantastic. Oh, 10cc. No, that's no. No. Not a big fan of 10cc. Sorry. But I do like Fleetwood Mac, and I love Metallica. I'm currently. I was having a debate the other day about which, if I was a wrestler, what music would I come out to as my entrance music if I was a wrestler? And my music would be one from Metallica, not the ding 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 ding, not that bit from the beginning, but the dun 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 dun, that bit. Darkness imprisoning me, although I see absolute horror I cannot live. That bit. That would be my wrestling music if I were to come out as a wrestler. So I hope that appeals to everyone. I'd be a good wrestler, I guess, maybe. No female acts. Female singers. Yeah, I like female singers. The thing is, there's probably about 10 male acts to every one female act. So I liked Madonna when I was growing up, but yeah, kind of, whatever. For female acts, mostly when I was growing up, it was a lead female singer to a mostly male band. So that was true of Catatonia. That was true of, Christ, I'm going to remember, I forget some of the names of them now. Cardigans, St. Etienne, these kind of bands. The only Dusty Springfield I like is Son of a Preacher Man. That's the only Dusty Springfield song I like. So yeah, female. It was always female lead singers of largely male bands. Having said that, I really did like the Breeders. The Breeders are made up from some former members of the Pixies, and they had that song Cannonball. If you've never heard Cannonball by the Breeders, it's fantastic. It's a song that begins ding 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 ding. It's fantastic stuff. Also, another band I liked that was kind of female, and this was back in the sort of grungy days. Two, I guess. L7. So I did like Pretend We're Dead by L7 and Shit List and some of the other tracks that they had. They were a bit grungy and rocky, but they were good stuff. And I also liked, I really loved Hole. The album Live Through This by Hole. I love that. That album's one of the best, most complete albums for me that I've ever heard to, from start to finish. Top man, yeah, Dreadlock Holiday, yeah, true. Start to finish, Live Through This by Hole is one of the few albums that I'll listen to everything from start to finish. Having said that, also Gene. I don't know if you know the band Gene, but they had Olympian and Drawn to the Deep End, 2 albums, and they were end-to-end classic albums. So yeah, good stuff to listen to. So that's my kind of music taste. Quite eclectic. Weirdly enough, I like lots of other odd things as well. You know, I do quite like DMX. X Gon Give It To You. You know, I like a lot of rap music as well. anything that's quite sort of intense. I love my Rage Against the Machine. There you go, this is a good example. I love Rage Against the Machine. I can listen to that all the time. I'm introducing my daughter slowly to Rage Against the Machine. She likes it. Good girl. So yeah, that's my music taste. Film heroes and other stuff as well, I'm sure. You know, lots of other bits and pieces. Anyway, we're getting towards the end of the hour. I started early as well. Enormous sort of audio issues that started this, so hopefully that's not been too bad for the duration of this one. And certainly no one's pointed out any other issues. There was a terrible echo going on earlier. I must have 2 different sessions running at the same time, so I'll have to be wary about doing that in the future. So if there's any more questions for me tonight, then by all means ask them now. Yeah, for rap, by the way, I don't listen to general rap. I just happen to like Party Up and X Gon Give It To You and those songs. I like Anti Up by MOP, especially the remix version. Yeah, I've got a few rap songs that I really like, but generic rap, general rap, I don't listen to. You know, the closest I've got to enjoying rap in general was playing Def Jam Vendetta on the PlayStation 3, and that was quite some time ago. It's crusting together wrestling and rap. Only if it's got a C in it. Ah, I see what you're doing there, Lee. Is it a silent C in rap? I think that's what you're doing. Yeah, some rap's fine. Like, for example, I really enjoy Cypress Hill. So Cypress Hill's good. Insane the Brain, all that kind of stuff. But my favourite Cypress Hill song is not Rap Superstar, Rock Superstar. I love Rock Superstar. It's a great song. Bit more heavy on the guitar than Rap Superstar, but good stuff. Guilty pleasures in life. Guilty pleasures. Cheesy 80s music on the music subject. If I'm dressed as Juliette and I'm driving somewhere, I'll listen to stuff like Bananarama and Live It Up by Mental as Anything. If you don't know that song, it's from it's featured in the film Crocodile Dundee. So I love that kind of cheesy 80s music, a little bit of Spandau Ballet, a little bit of Duran Duran, you know, Rio, Gold, that kind of stuff. So 80s cheese is kind of my guilty pleasure. As far as TV goes, these days I consider Big Bang Theory a guilty pleasure. That kind of stuff. I'll rewatch Friends. I'm not really massively into that kind of stuff. So that's, I guess, a TV guilty pleasure. But yeah, that's really it for me, I think. Other than, you know, my biggest guilty pleasure in my life, which is food. I love my food. I used to drink. I don't drink alcohol anymore. I used to drink lots of alcohol. But yeah, my guilty pleasure is food. So these days, I can eat food like you wouldn't believe. So I can probably eat more chocolate in one sitting than anyone else I know in the world. And it's pleasurable and it makes me feel very guilty. So I'd have to call that a guilty pleasure. Other than Bananarama. Cruel Summer, which is from Cruel Summer, which is used in the film Karate Kid by Bananarama. Really good song. Not too much though. What, food? Lee, is that your point? Food? Not too much food? I run so I can eat as much as I like. I eat a phenomenal amount of ridiculous stuff. Okay, Marcus, you're on a bit of a theme there. I assume that was me and my wife on my wedding day. that you just posted in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to wrap things up. I want to say thank you to thank you very much, Music Specialist 100. Thank you to everyone for joining today. It's been really good fun. I haven't done one of these in a long time. I don't do them all that often. Like I said, once every 6 months or so. I probably won't do another one again until, I guess, around about Easter time. Be quite some time before I do another one of these. I am going out on Saturday night, so there is just a chance on Saturday night I might do something as I'm ready Saturday night. That would be around about between 7 and 8 UK time. Friends coming around at 8, so I'll have to be finished then. Yeah, Live It Up. Yeah, I'm going to Pink's on Saturday night for Halloween. So yeah, Live It Up by Mental as Anything. I love that song. Well, yeah, it's one of my favourite songs. It's so upbeat, it's so happy, it's so fun, and yet it's about someone who's down and sad, and I really love that song. It's I would say it's the best thing Australia has given to the world, with the possible exception of the album Diesel and Dust by Midnight Oil, which is another great album from my youth. I love Diesel and Dust by Midnight Oil. They're fantastic. I don't know why I keep doing that. I'm sure it's an insult in some countries. Look at that. Don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm rambling. Okay, have a good night, everyone. I'm going to close things down now. Hope that was fun or interesting or whatever else, or just a little bit of voyeurism. Whatever. Hope you enjoy yourselves. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for any questions. Thanks to James. Thanks to Lee. Thanks to Michael and everyone else who sent stuff through. Will I be doing another photo shoot with Amelia? Who's Amelia? No worry. Pinks will be fun. Looking forward to looking forward to Pinks. That'll be good. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining. Have a good night. See you soon, and more videos coming very soon. Thor Ragnarok review. Yeah, the Flame Woman. Yeah, why not? There was Jane who was sat next to me. But yes, more coming soon. Okay, take care and have a good evening. Bye everyone. Bye. Bye. Head bob.